we get so used to the feminine masculine relationship that even if we're attracted to other feminine women, we feel like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense though. When I was younger, I watched a lot of like Nickelodeon, and I don't remember any queer representation on Nickelodeon or Disney. And then, you know, I watched Nick and Nick at Night and stuff like that. I never saw queer representation on that. And then I also had an old soul. So I watched Lucy and like just old school television shows. I loved Bewitched. And so, yeah, I didn't see those stories being told. And then I think like the first time I started seeing a little glimpse of it was like when Clueless came out, and you saw beautiful gay characters on Clueless and so forth. And I believe on the TV show there were as well. And then, yeah, so it didn't really start to show more often to me until movies. And I would say, like, I remember 6 Degrees of Separation with Will Smith. That was an important story to be told because now you're talking about the secret of being gay, and especially in the Black community and the Black men in the community. Honestly, one of the dopest stories I saw told was like the first and second season of Pose. That first and second season, honestly, I was just so, I got lost in that story. The characters were so authentic and I felt like I knew them. And I'm from Maryland, and a lot of the balls happened in Baltimore and Jersey and New York. And so just to really get a glimpse of the inside part of that world. And I was just recently, I'm in a program right now, and each week is a different gateway, and we just left the gateway of dance. And in studying the gateway of dance, it talked about how African people, and I know this because I remember watching the Shaka Zulu series that came out years ago. And there was this one scene where one tribe is fighting another tribe, but they never physically fought. They were kind of dancing against each other. You know what I mean? And the balls were so important because you got to see that energy. You got to see an energy that it didn't have to be like my dislike for you or whatever it may be has to evolve to me actually physically touching you or hurting you or killing you or anything like that. It became where instead of even going there, I would put on a gown and I'd get fabulous and I'd walk the runway and I'd slay and I would dance and I would do other ways to express myself. And to me, that was so powerful and so beautiful. So yeah, that for me, that show specifically, season 1 and season 2 were like was really an amazing representation of that life, of that world. Well, I think even the story of Ryan and Sophie, so important because, you know, like I said, I grew up watching Grey's Anatomy within like the last 10 years of my life. And it was so beautiful to be able to see the story of Callie in Arizona truly play out. We've never seen two women, and honestly, two somewhat feminine women, really be able to show that dynamic. And I think honestly, as women that are operating in our queer community, we try to find where our identity lies. And we get so used to the feminine masculine relationship that even if we're attracted to other feminine women, we feel like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense though. So I have to get more of a masculine presenting woman because that's what I'm supposed to do. And I think that love story kind of showed that, you know, there was no such thing in that relationship as who wore the pants. It felt like they both kind of, you know, alternated between the two. And so even though people are trying to figure out who wears the pants between Sophie and Ryan, I do still feel like regardless of however long the story went on, you would always see it going between the two of them. And I thought that was really beautiful. And I think that is truly something that I would love to see continue in stories, showing, you know, two queer women that don't have to present specifically masculine or feminine. They just exist. And maybe that flows with however they feel that day.